In 2023, I made a life-altering decision to quit my high-paying corporate job to pursue full-time entrepreneurship. And in this video, I'm going to give you a simple but effective set of 5 questions that you can ask yourself and you can score yourself on to determine whether entrepreneurship is the right path for you. And for each of these questions, if you don't have a high score, I'll also tell you how you can improve these scores quickly. And before we get into the details, I need to answer one common bias that many people have. Can't you do both? Can't you keep your job while building your business on the side? Now, if you've been watching me on this channel, you know that I like to follow the evidence. And the evidence is very clear. Successful entrepreneurs are the ones who went all in. The short answer is no, not if you want to build something that's truly impactful. Now, sure, there are exceptions to the rule. I know many teams of founders where one co-founder is fully dedicated to the platform while the other one is still holding down a job. But the truth is, if you treat your business like a side hustle, it will remain a side hustle. Think of your business like raising a child. If you want your child to grow up healthy and smart, the parent needs to invest time and energy on their children. And if you're not doing that for your business, don't expect your business to go anywhere. Having said that, let's get into question number 1. Do you know how to sell? Let me be blunt. If you don't know how to sell, you're not yet ready to be an entrepreneur. You see, many people have a wrong idea about entrepreneurship. They think that the skill that the founder needs is to be able to build the product. Once you enter entrepreneurship, you'll realize that the skill that the founder needs is to be able to sell the product. Before I became an entrepreneur, I was helping startups and Fortune 5 companies build and launch products. I've been through the trenches, I've built product businesses from the ground up, and I've learned this lesson the hard way that no matter how innovative your product is, it means nothing if you can't sell it. And this skill is the foundation of good entrepreneurship. Daniel Priestley, a veteran entrepreneur, says this best. He says, everything is downstream of lead generation. And when you're the boss of your business, you are in charge of lead generation. No leads, no business. I've seen brilliant products fail simply because their founders couldn't go out and connect with the right market. On the other side, I've seen simple ideas thrive because the creators behind them were masters of persuasion. And if you're thinking, but Pramod, I will figure this out, along the way after I build my product, trust me, you won't. The pressures of running a business will only amplify this problem. In fact, one of the things I teach my students is that a first-time entrepreneur builds, validates, and then sells, whereas a second-time experienced entrepreneur sells, validates, and then builds. You heard that right. You need to be able to sell your product even before you built it. If you can't sell the idea and the value of the product before you build it, trust me, you won't be able to persuade or sell your product's value after you've built. Now, luckily, these are skills that we can develop, and here are my 4 best tips on how you can learn to become amazing at sales really quickly. Number 1 is master the art of selling one to many. While learning one-on-one sales is important, today, because of the magic of the internet, you can scale your efforts by selling one to many. This means mastering things like presentations, webinars, creating YouTube videos that allows you to reach a wider audience simultaneously with the same effort. That's the reason why I'm making this video. That's why this year I've decided to spend a lot more time creating content online, because this is a way for me to reach people one to many. Tip number 2 is to become a master at building funnels. If this is the first time you're hearing about funnels, funnels is simply the different stages that every customer goes through before they decide to buy your product. Understanding the different stages of the funnel and learning how to optimize each stage of the funnel to get people to go from not knowing who you are trusting you enough to give you their money is a really powerful marketing and sales skill that you need to be learning. This is an essential skill and not optional. Tip number 3 is to build an audience before you build a product. Whether it's through a blog, a podcast, social media, or even an email list, building an online community of followers who share the same goals as you will allow you to learn more about what your customers want and help you build products that they will buy. When you build an audience after you built your product, you are kind of biased in trying to sell them something, sell them your product. But when you build an audience before you have a product, you are biased towards providing them value, helping them succeed whichever way you can. And that creates a lot of trust. That also gives you a lot of opportunity to talk with them and find out what their real problems are, not the problems which you think they have, problems that they are willing to pay good money for. This allows you to build better products and have a queue of customers waiting to buy your product on launch day. And my last advice is to start collecting emails of potential customers early in your growth. Creating content on social media to attract customers is like building a mansion on borrowed land. They can take away your channel and your audiences just like that. And it's happened to many people before. The only saving grace is if you have direct line of access to people via their email ID, you can then email them whenever you maybe build a new channel or you build a new product, and you're not hostage to social media. So if you want to increase your score in this first question, do these things. And if you think there is something else that people can be doing, let us know in the comment section, and I'll leave my 2 cents on this topic as well. All right, now let's talk about question number 2. Can you build a solution to the problem that you're solving in the next 30 days? Here's the thing that not a lot of people understand. Ideas don't count for much. Everybody has an idea. It's the execution that matters. And that is why this question is very critical. For example, if you want to build an app, but you don't know how to build apps, are you the right person to be solving that problem? If you are not a petrochemical engineer, are you the right person to be solving problems in the petrochemical industry? And why do I say, can you bring it to life in 30 days? Because it's a litmus test for your ability to execute. If you can't create something valuable and get it into the hands of your customers in 30 days, you're either overcomplicating the solution or you don't have the required expertise to bring your solution to life. Now, I'm not saying that this should dissuade you, but if you score really low on this question, you might want to reconsider your idea, or you might want to look at ways to improve this kind of skills you need to build solutions in that domain. And when you build solutions, remember this one thing. Theodore Levitt said this best: people don't want a quarter-inch drill, they want a quarter-inch hole. This simple yet profound statement underscores a critical truth in entrepreneurship. People don't want your product, they want the solution that it enables. And interestingly, this is a lesson that you learn when you try to sell your product to people and you try to sell them on the features of your product and they don't buy. And then you realize, wait a minute, that's not how I sell. I should sell them on the transformation or the eventual goal or the eventual result that they will get. Having said that, let me now tell you how you can improve your score for this question. The first way is to narrow down your problem state. Try to build small solutions for small problems and go to market quickly to learn how products are built and sold and maintained. Tip number 2 is try and sell your services or product for free when you get started, so that you can work with clients and get their feedback so you can iterate on your solutions faster. Because trust me, people love free solutions. But also make sure to not do this for a long time, because then you'll start attracting people who will never pay you for anything. So quickly, after your first set of users, build a paid product which you can again go to the market with and get feedback to improve your product. If you do these 2 things for the next 6 months, you will eventually discover an audience set that is having a problem, and you will be in a unique position to solve it for them using skills that you develop over the next 6 months. Entrepreneurship is not about knowing everything before you start, but it's also stupid to not have a plan of action or a basic roadmap. The most successful entrepreneurs I know are people who got started and learned as they went, but that does not mean that they didn't have some experience or some exposure to the domain and the solutioning that helped them. In 2023, I built and launched 2 profitable products in just 6 weeks. It may sound like an overnight success story to you, but I spent the last 12 years in product management in IT product software development. So I had some background and some skill that helped me build these 2 tools. So again, ask yourself, do you have the necessary skills to bring the solution to life? Are you the expert in this field? And if not, can you enable the solution? Can you find a co-founder in the next 30 days? Can you build and bring this product to life in the next 30 days? Because if you can't, you need to work on that. You either need to change up your idea to match your skills, or you need to improve your skills to match your idea. All right, now to question number 3. This is a practical question. Do you have enough money saved up for the next 1 year, preferably maybe even 2 years? Now, by now, you also understand that entrepreneurship is not a get-rich-quick scheme. If you quit your job, it's going to take some time before you actually see an income from entrepreneurship. And the question obviously is, have you saved up enough money to help you survive this period? Think of it like this. You're going on a long journey and you need enough fuel in the tank. If you don't have enough fuel, you're going to get stranded halfway. It's the same with starting a business. You don't want to get halfway and build something that has the potential to grow, but you have no more savings to help you survive the next few months. So you have to go back to a job, because when you're worried about money, you end up making bad decisions for yourself and for your business. When I quit my corporate job, I made sure that I had at least 2 years of savings, and that proved invaluable to me as I experimented, learn and iterate without the constant pressure to generate immediate income. It allow me to take risks, pivot when necessary, and focus on the long-term vision of my business. Now, figuring out how much money you need is an individual exercise, and you really need to sit down and do the math. Find out how much you spend each month, how much you owe if you have a loan or something like that, and then see if you can save up to 1.5x more than that amount. Now, I recommend saving up a little more than what you think you may need, because you never know when you may need a little bit of extra money, which is why I say save up 1.5x or maybe 2 times what you think you need. Now, if you score low on this question, there are 2 ways that you can improve your score. The first way is to reduce your spending so that you can save the excess amount to save up for your entrepreneurial journey. Number 2 is you can increase your earnings. You can go look for a new job or learn a quick new skill that will help you earn more in the economy so that you can use that money to save up, whichever one works for you, and have a goal of saving up for at least 2 years. Now, I understand if you're married or you have kids, this can be even more difficult, but at least now you know that you need to do it. Now you can go and figure out how. And remember, it's okay to delay your entrepreneurial journey if you're not financially secure. Don't compare your journey with somebody else's. I wanted to be an entrepreneur from 2016, but I waited till 2023. And during this time, I achieved a lot. I was able to buy a house, I was able to buy a car, I was able to get married. And after all of these expenses, I had saved a little bit for me to finally get into entrepreneurship. So don't be in a hurry. Take care of yourself and your family first before falling for the FOMO that many influencers create on social media. All right. Question number 4. Does your family support you? You see, entrepreneurship isn't just a career choice. It is a lifestyle. It requires long hours, relentless focus, and the ability to weather uncertainty while keeping your sanity. And while you might be ready to take on these challenges, is your family ready to take on these challenges with you? Do they understand the challenges and sacrifices required to be an entrepreneur as well as you do? Let me be honest, entrepreneurship can strain relationships. Have you noticed how all of the most famous entrepreneurs are divorced? Entrepreneurship requires late nights, missed family events, and can even take a toll on the strongest of relationships. So if your family isn't on board, they don't understand what it takes, you'll not only be fighting the challenges of building a business, which is hard enough as it is, but you'll also be battling resentment, misunderstandings, and emotional stress at home. On the flip side, having a supportive family member can be a huge source of strength if you're an entrepreneur. They can provide you the encouragement you need during those low moments and tough times, celebrate your wins, and remind you why you are doing what you're doing. When I decided to quit my corporate job, I had a long and hard conversation with my wife. We spoke about the potential financial risks, the lifestyle changes that we probably need to make, and the emotional roller coaster that lay ahead of us. Thankfully for me, my spouse was very supportive, and that has made all the difference. I love her to the moon and back. There were many moments in my entrepreneurship journey where I doubted myself and wondered if I should carry on. And in those moments, it was her who was in my corner, who helped me believe and kept me going. So how do you score on this question? And if you score low, what can you do to improve this? Now, the first thing that you need to do is understand what are the sacrifices that are required for entrepreneurship and if you are willing to make them. And number 2, you need to figure out whether you are willing to put your family through that as well. For example, if you have retired parents and they depend on you, you might want to ask yourself the question, is it fair for me to ask them to sacrifice even now after they have done everything for me? Or should I wait a little more to give them a good retirement? Maybe I should save up a little bit. And if you're a man, it starts with you. It starts with what you want to give your family and what you're willing to put them through. Now, if you think that this is something that your family would be excited to do with you, you need to spend time talking with them, helping them truly understand what the sacrifices will look like and what it means. And this is not a sit down once and have a conversation once kind of topic. This is something that you need to probably discuss with them over a period of a few months, because they will come up with new thoughts or questions or fears or apprehensions, and you need to be able to resolve it for them. For example, one of the more common questions that I've seen family members ask aspiring entrepreneurs is that they are worried about the money. And it would put a lot of family members at ease if you showed them your savings and talked about a financial plan to put them at ease, to help them understand that there is a runway where you can still provide for the family. Now, my final tip here is be ready for pushback. For most of us, our parents were never entrepreneurs. entrepreneurs, and they come from an age where being employed was the way to build wealth and money and security for the family. And many of our family members will actively discourage you from pursuing entrepreneurship. In these situations, don't get pissed off, angry, and say things like, "Oh, you're not supporting me." Remain respectful and be the better man. Over time, as they see your progress and dedication, there is a huge chance that they will come around. Now, even after all this, if your family isn't supportive, it doesn't mean that you need to give up on your entrepreneurial dreams. However, it does mean that you'll need to work harder to manage the emotional and relational challenges that come with building a business and maintaining good relationships with family. And the best way that you can manage this challenge is to surround yourself with a network of like-minded individuals, mentors, friends, and fellow entrepreneurs who can provide the encouragement and support you need. And here's why I say this. Entrepreneurship is a team sport and requires team effort even if you're a solopreneur. And having a supportive family can help you go further faster. So if you have to invest any time and effort to get them on board, to convince them, it is definitely worth the effort. And now, question number 5, are you doing it for the money? Here's the hard truth. If you're becoming an entrepreneur because you need the money, you're setting yourself up for disappointment. This is why this question in this framework is so important. When I quit my high-paying corporate job, I was taking a huge pay cut. 2 years into my entrepreneurial journey, I still don't earn as much as I did from a corporate job. But here's the thing, I don't regret it one bit, because entrepreneurship works best for those who are ambitious and want to maximize their creativity, freedom, and impact. And no job can give me that. Now, I'm not saying that money is not important, but if your sole focus is to make money, you will burn out quickly because you won't see money come in for the first 1, maybe 1.5, maybe 2, maybe even first 5 years. So if you scored low on this question, there are better ways for you to make money. Stay employed, maybe find a new job. It'll probably pay you a lot more than entrepreneurship will. But on the flip side, if you probably made your money and you're unfulfilled at work and you know you have the ability to create an impact in this world and you're someone who enjoys the journey as much as the destination, then entrepreneurship is probably something you need to think of. So let me just leave you with this. Entrepreneurship is not a shortcut to wealth, or at least that's not what I have seen. It's a path for people who want to do things differently. And if you do it for the right reasons, the financial rewards will eventually come. But they'll be a byproduct of your hard work and dedication, and not because you solely went behind money. Because if you do that, you'll probably end up like all of the people who appeared on the cover of Forbes 30 Under 30. They're all in jail. I won't get into that, but making money with entrepreneurship takes time. Most of the successful entrepreneurs I know started seeing profits only after their 6th to 8th year. Are you willing to spend 6 to 8 years building a business that will eventually bring you money? That is the question you need to ask yourself. Now, as you work through these 5 critical questions, you will get a much better idea about whether you want to jump into entrepreneurship or stay employed. Now, if you scored well on these questions, you might be ready to take the leap. Remember, readiness is not about having all of the answers. As the saying goes, you don't have to be great to start, but you have to start to be great. Now, if you would like to join a group of ambitious founders, and I'm creating a community where we talk about the practical side of entrepreneurship and how you can build great businesses without spending a fortune. I'll leave a link to that in the video's description or in the pinned comments. I hope you found this video helpful. I would love to hear from you, and I'll see you in the next one.